And we're live. Yes, what is going on, LBHT crew? I am back in my old setup. It's still a little off. I gotta fix something here. But back in the studio. Um, you guys know why we're here. Sugarton knows why we're here. There he is. Hey everyone. Hello, Sugarton. Okay, the Steelers fan is very happy right now. All right, they pulled off the upset. Steelers win 17-10. Lions win 42-24. That was pretty ugly. They were competing for a little while. It was a 14-7 game. I
I
thought,
don't
okay,
understand what you mean. They scored more than twice as many points as the Ravens.
they did. Who's saying our game was pretty? Look, I don't know how many times we gotta say it's time for John Harbaugh to go.
As always, at least once more.
Just to walk in the park. Congratulations to the Steelers, man. Mike Tomlin is a superior head coach. I seen people argue on Twitter and whatnot. I mean, look, people are going to have their opinions, but the fact is, Mike Tomlin is a superior head coach. Because that's all that happened today. One coach gets his team up for these games. Another coach doesn't. The Steelers don't have the talent to be competing with us. They don't. But they're just more organized. They're just better coached. They execute. They show up when they need to show up. And the Ravens don't. I mean, what was it? 9 drop passes, 10 drop passes today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can say, hey, there's just a bad day from them. You could say, hey, Lamar was off. Lamar wasn't off in the first half. He was hitting.
Yeah, Lamar was fine. Like, I know he threw the bad interception.
Yeah.
But the reality is, look, the Ravens are more talented on paper, but the Ravens don't have players who show up when they need them to.
Nope.
We can talk about the defense playing well and holding Pittsburgh all day until they needed to, and then they got beat over the top for a touchdown, right? Because the Steelers have a playmaker, a wide receiver.
Facts.
I don't know. Like I said, John Harbaugh has to go. It is the mentality of this team. First off, to make every game ugly and close, even if you are the better team, right? And when you let teams hang around, then you get beat when you make any mistakes. And I saw people saying that, it was the not kicking the field goal, and ever since then the momentum shift. No, look, man, every single time the Ravens lose, the Ravens fans point to one play and like, oh man, that changed the game.
Yeah,
no,
that's why.
It doesn't change the game for everybody else. Y'all are mentally weak, and that starts with John Harbaugh. You can't point at one mistake and be like, oh, there's the game. Like, every team makes mistakes, and I don't know if it's just the way John Harbaugh reacts to mistakes that makes them kind of tighten up and be so afraid of making mistakes that they just make more. But I mean, it seems to me that's the way it is. Justice Hill got the ball knocked out. He was playing well, right?
Yes.
Disappeared after that. He was making plays for you, disappeared. You got Bateman out there dropping touchdown. Mark Andrews dropping touchdowns. Like, everybody's making mistakes. Ronnie Stanley gives up the sack with the forced fumble. You got John Simpson getting called for the hold, when they picked up the first down on the last drive. You got Falalele getting beat for the last sack on 4th down. Like, it's all over the place, and it happens every single week with them, and they can't get to a place where the team is just functioning well, and that's a coaching thing.
Well, let's go back to that last play you said. Falalele got beat. It was Falalele and Justice Hill, I believe, right?
Yeah.
They're both trying to block. Why is Justice Hill there in that play? Like, block, I don't even know what happened to Gus Edwards. I guess he got hurt. I don't know. Where's Melvin Gordon? I don't know. Is he hurt? I don't know what's going on anymore. But Justice Hill can't be there to try to block TJ Watt, right? You already know Falalele is going to need help. We all know that. Justice Hill can't be the one to help him there. You know what I'm saying? That's just bad coaching. It's just bad coaching all around. Like the chances of us winning are already very slim at that point, right? But you're not giving Lamar any real chance to win the game there. I mean, but yes, it was bad play all around. Like, the first half, they look smooth, they're executing, they look like, okay, they can run the score up. But it goes back to what you say all the time, B. The first couple of drives always go well for the Ravens because it's scripted that way. But when you have to go off script, when you have to make adjustments, they're not able to do it.
Yeah.
And if something goes wrong, it's something with Harbaugh, and I think it goes back to Harbaugh's mentality of wanting to put players in the doghouse, right? Mm-hmm. I think players get a little sketchy once they make a mistake because it's like, oh damn, what's John going to do to me?
Yeah, the Ravens play scared.
Yeah,
all the time. I mean, even at the end on that last drive, you saw Lamar escape the pocket, and it looked like he was getting ready to run. Then he saw, I think it was Mark Andrews, and threw it. He hopped the ball to him like 3 yards short.
Yeah,
like they play tight, they play scared. And I think it's because of the way that Harbaugh handles players when they make mistakes. Now, obviously, he's not going to do anything to Lamar because he can't. But everybody else, that hey, I make a mistake in a key situation, I might not play again.
Yeah, I'm over it, right? Like, again, every single team in the league is going to have games like this, right? Every single team. But with the Ravens, it's multiple games. You can almost pinpoint the games that they're going to have these type of games, right? We did it with the Colts. We did it again with the Steelers because, again, like this was a game we were supposed to go out there and dominate and be up 3-0 in the division and really pull ahead in the division. But now we're 3-2. We're tied with the Steelers. I mean, we're up because we have more division wins, but record-wise, we're tied and we haven't pulled away, right? Like we make it hard on ourselves to come out of the division. And again, this is what worries me when we get to the playoffs, because when you get to the playoffs, you can't be making these little mistakes. You can't you can't react the way you react when the game is tight, right? Mm-hmm. Because games are going to be tighter in the playoffs. And how are we going to react when it's a close game and we have to have something? Who's the guy, like B said, who's the guy on this team that's going to make a play for us?
Yeah, and we had all been hopeful that Odell would be healthy and be, back to, his previous form. He caught one pass. I saw him limp off the field. He had to go to the locker room. I know I'm pretty sure he came back later.
Yeah,
but he hasn't been effective at all.
Well, he's the one that Lamar's trying to throw the pass to in the end zone. He threw the interception.
Yeah, but he hasn't been effective at all. Rashad Bateman has been even less so. I don't know if it's in his head. I don't know what's going on with him, but he doesn't look like even the same guy that was out there in his rookie year who was able to make plays, right? Yeah. Like he just looks like he's completely lost it. Zay, Zay makes plays that he can make. He had a bad game today, and Zay's a rookie. You shouldn't be leaning on him. And again, this is also why we always said that don't call Mark Andrews an elite tight end. He's not an elite tight end. He's a good tight end, but he's not a guy that you can build your offense on.
Oh, you know what? Sugar's right. My bad, Sugar. He corrected me. You're right. He says we had the same division record. That's right, because the Steelers did beat the Browns.
Yeah.
So they have 2 division wins. We had 2 division wins. So yeah, but again, we make it hard on ourselves. We make it hard on ourselves.
Oh yeah, and it seems intentional. So I don't know. Like I'm tired of being hopeful with the Ravens. I know, hey, when they get healthy, the offense will come together. They don't look like they even want the offense to come together. But like I said, I'm tired of being hopeful that, hey, Odell will be back to form, Rashad will get it together, blah, blah, blah. Until John Harbaugh is gone, I'm just going to expect every single game to look like this.
Yeah. We're not, look, we're not giving them the benefit of the doubt anymore. Like I'm at a point now, the Ravens going to have to prove it week in and week out. Like I just don't believe in the team right now. Right?
No, there's nothing to believe in.
No. Like, when you play like that, yes, the big games, I can like, we play the 49ers. I can predict us to beat the 49ers. I can predict us to beat the some of the better teams, right? Because that's when we'll play our best. But games like this are what worry me, right? Because we win the division, we go on a little streak, right? We get into the playoffs. That first round, we play somebody that we should beat, right? It'll be a team like the Colts. It'll be a team like the Texans. It'll be one of those teams that, you know, they were like, oh yeah, we got that game. We lose. Right? We lose. And we'll lose not looking like ourselves. We lose not playing our best football. Look at the games that we've lost in the playoffs. Every one of those games is like, well, what are we doing right there? Like, did you forget to execute how you used to execute? Did you forget to run the plays that you used to running before? This is all Harbaugh. It doesn't matter what coordinator you bring in. It doesn't matter what talent you bring in, and we're not bringing in great talent, right? But I mean, this is all on Harbaugh. I you know, when I mean, you can. I don't even want to argue about whose fault it was. Did Lamar play great? No, he did not play great. But you can't point the finger at any one person on this team other than Harbaugh. They all played bad, B. Everybody played bad.
And again, when everybody's playing bad, everybody's making mistakes, and this is over the course of years, no matter who you bring in, it's because of the coaching. You know, he is just doing a poor job in Baltimore, and he has been for years. That's why he was on the verge of being fired before Lamar came in.
Yeah. Salute to DDSQ for the 420 donation. Says should have brought in D-Hop. Yep, too. Like Lamar asked. Exactly. Yep. 8 catches, 140 yards today. That's what he had. Steelers aren't good, but they have TJ Watt, who the Ravens have no answer for. Oh, who the Ravens have no answer for. That's right. Who is the Ravens closer when things aren't going right? Exactly.
Yeah, they don't have one.
Yeah. What's going on, Nitro? It says we seen this exact game last year in Jacksonville. All the drops, missed opportunities, turnovers. We see this game every single year. I can point to a game every year under Harbaugh where we have drops and things like that. Every single year, right? It's no different, right? And just missed opportunities. You can see that multiple times a year. We just had that last week, or not last week, the week before against the Colts. I mean, look at the schedule. Who do we play next week?
Tennessee in London.
That's going to be an ugly game,
right?
Tennessee is not a particularly good team, but we're playing in London. We'll be expected to win. We'll be expected to bounce back, and we will look ugly because it's Tennessee. You know, I mean, that's just how we are. Missed opportunities that's the story of John Harbaugh.
Yeah, that used to be the story of Ron Rivera. That's what he would say every single week in his press conference in Carolina after they lost. But again, you know, when your team is constantly making mistakes, it's because of the way they're coached.
Yeah. All right. What's going on, everybody? Let me read some comments here. There's a lot of comments. Hey, Mr. Galloway, salute to you. Salute. Thanks for coming through, my friend.
What's up, Dre?
Fat Boy Kai says all the Ravens losses look the same over the years. We are the only team who looks consistent when losing. Yeah. Because it's not even like we get blown out.
No.
You know, we just had these games where it's just like, okay, drop pass. All right, we go for it on 4th down and we don't get it because we made some ridiculous call. Okay, whatever. Block punt, whatever. Right. And there's no sense of urgency ever when we have these type of games. There's no like, hey, we gotta tighten stuff up. We gotta turn it around. It's just they're messing up.
They're disengaged under John Harbaugh all the time.
Yeah.
And that's how they play.
What's going on, Kimberly? She says that was an embarrassing game for the Ravens. Absolutely. Yes. Danity, what's going on, Danity? She says disgusting, disgraceful, and embarrassing. Yes. All that stuff. NDT Sports says John Harbaugh don't like Gus Edwards at all. That's why I want to know. Did Gus get hurt?
I don't think so. But what's to like? He's just a guy. And that's the thing at running back. They don't have any kind of special player at running back, but they want to run the ball more than anything. It doesn't make any sense.
12 carries, 48 yards for Gus. 6 carries, 45 yards for Lamar. 7 carries, 32 yards, and touchdown for Justice Hill. Look, man. You have to have somebody somewhere. Like, I'm sick of this this downplaying of skill positions. I'm sick of it. Well, we don't need this guy. We can just get this guy. He's younger. He's cheaper. No, man. Get somebody that can play, right? Yes, Jonathan Taylor might cost you a first, and it'll be a late first for us. It might cost you a late first or a second round. Get him. Get somebody that can make plays.
Not even that much money.
Right. Not even that much money.
Less than you're paying Odell.
Saquon, right? I mean, we could say running backs aren't that valuable, but they are to us because we want to be a running team and we don't have guys that can make plays, right? Yeah. Wide receiver, okay, great, man. I still like Zay Flowers. He didn't have a great game. He had one drop himself. That misconnection, I kind of put that on Lamar. He fell down, but he was trying to turn around. The ball kind of went behind him. I'll have coach take a look at that play. But when I saw it, I was like, I don't put that on him. He was trying to adjust to the ball. He fell down. But I mean, Zay, rookie, you can't put too much on the rookie. That's just what it is. But Odell hasn't done anything yet. We should have gotten D-Hop, right? Or trade for Mike Evans. Like, you got to go and get somebody that can really, really make a difference. And we don't have that. They have it.
It's just, it's at what point as an organization do you say, I don't want to ask questions about these guys going into the season. I don't want to have questions about them. I want to know.
Yeah.
Because every year in Baltimore, it's, if this guy steps up, if that guy steps up, if this guy develops the way we think he can, if this guy can stay healthy, if this guy can return to form, it's never just, man, we got the guys.
Yeah.
Miami didn't come into this season saying, man, I hope Tyreek Hill plays well.
Yeah.
They know who Tyreek Hill is. The Eagles didn't come into this season saying, man, I hope A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith still got it.
Yeah.
Like, they know what they have. But in Baltimore, it's always if.
Yeah. Zay didn't track the ball well, DDSQ says. That could be it. I mean, I want to look at that play with coach. We'll bring that up tomorrow. I want to see because, I don't know. Like, he was running his route and Lamar threw the ball. It looked like it was kind of floating a little bit. I'm not sure if that's where the ball's meant to go or what. Lamar's a little off in some of these passes. So that one, I don't know. But again, another missed opportunity because that should have been a touchdown. Yeah, it's just too many bad plays, and I don't see anything coming from Harbaugh to try to adjust or try to make up for it. When we start looking ugly like that, the play calling looks even worse.
Mm-hmm. Nothing ever comes easy for Baltimore.
Yeah. Xavier Smith was going on, says, is hubris in drafting. Our guy will pan out. The tape always says. Yeah. Big Reg was going on. Thanks for coming through. Yes. Who else is in here? Field wasn't great. The field trip, Zay Flowers, MDT Sports says. Look, man, they're playing on the same field.
Yeah.
And George Pickens got his pass ball on Humphrey.
I mean, he pushed off too. Like, why don't some of y'all push off sometimes?
Yeah.
You know they're not going to call that. Just do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, all right. So, B just went away. Oh, we got a donation. Salute to Suge, the Steelers fan. He says, "What's up, Ravens fans? How are we feeling today? Are the Ravens going to get? Are the Ravens going to get to the airport on time to catch the airplane to play in London? Mittens may not be the guy, but George Pickens is, and you could have had them. Yep. Much love, LBHT crew. All facts right there. We could have had George Pickens. We should have had George Pickens. This isn't a hindsight opinion. This is what we were saying at the time. This is what a lot of people were saying at the time. But instead, we said, nope, let's get Ojabo. Okay? So this is why EDC needs to get that smoke too, because Ojabo, even when he gets back and he's healthy, let's just be real. I think he could be a solid player. I don't think he's going to be a game changer.
And Patrick Queen from Jeff Zybeck said it's the same old story every time. I'm pretty sick of it. Yeah. Luckily for him, he's not getting paid in Baltimore, so he doesn't have too much more of this to worry about. But yeah,
he can express his feelings. And you're seeing more and more players get vocal about this team. right? A lot of those come from the offense, but now you're seeing a defensive player say, "This is tiresome, man. Like this is ridiculous."
Mm-hmm.
And he's not directing that towards the offense, right? Yeah. I know the defense for the most part played a pretty good game, but he's not directing that towards anybody on the offense. He's directing that towards the coach. So
yeah.
Conflict says the league is ahead of Harbaugh, who is an old-fashioned coach.
Yeah, we know the league's ahead of Harbaugh just by the philosophy they choose to play, but it's more than just the league being ahead. But you're absolutely right. It's an arrogance thing because in Baltimore, and I assume it starts with the owner, and this was Ozzie too. But Ozzie with EDC with Harbaugh, they think they're the smartest guys in the room, and they're not.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we know better than all 31 other teams. We know safety is and middle linebacker is the way. We know that wide receivers don't really matter. Like, but you don't know that. The opposite is true. You're trying to just, outsmart everyone, and you can't do it.
Listen to Stream Elements bots, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. All right, we got 65 people in here. We got people over on Facebook, like Edward Bigby, hitting that like button. Salute to you. Appreciate it. Listen, you're absolutely right, because Marcus Williams was supposed to be a big part of this team. He is supposed to be that playmaker. And another major injury, unfortunate. It's not, again, not his fault, but he's missing a lot of time with another injury. But the secondary looks just fine. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like Geno Stone looks just fine because safety isn't as important of a position. Pass rushers. We saw what a playmaker pass rusher looks like today, but we opted not to pay our guys, right? And Judon and Ngakoue, and go with Ojabo, Owe, and Tyus Bowser, and none of them are playing. Right? We have to constantly pick up guys off the street every year. Our best edge rushers are guys that we pick up off the street.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you? Linebackers, like you said, I love Patrick Queen, I love Roquan Smith, but they're not gonna win the games for you. You're putting your focus in the wrong areas, and you want to be a run team, but you don't want to pay running backs.
Well, yeah, and they want to, try to outsmart everybody, try to exploit inefficiencies in the market, right? That's what people think they're doing by investing in these lower value positions that other teams are overlooking. Mm-hmm. But they're not, because you're paying premium prices to get those guys. You use the top 15 pick on a position that nobody else drafts until the second or third round. You paid $70 million for Marcus Williams, and then you're crying poverty at wide receiver.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Team loss. Everybody played their part. Yes, free indeed. And when everybody played their part, whose fault is it? The coach, right? What's his job? To get the team ready. If the team, everybody played their part, if they all played bad, that's coaching. All right, mods, get this spam out of here. Let's go. Let's put you all to work today. Okay. The blue wrenches, put them to work. Good job. That's what I'm talking about.
That was me.
Oh, well, good job, B.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Come on, mods, get it together. You make us look like John Harbaugh over here. Justin P, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. Yeah, that was so bad. Even the bots are getting in on this. All right, B, you want to discuss your Panthers real quick?
Why would I want to discuss the Panthers? Like, what about that game would make you think I would want to discuss the Panthers? Outside of this, I will say, and we're gonna keep it. I don't want any. Listen. I don't want any response to this in the chat or from you. I'm just gonna say. I'm just gonna put it out there that every week, Bryce Young is completing more passes for more yards, and this week he threw for 3 touchdowns. He's getting better every single time he steps on the field, and I don't want any context applied to that. I don't want any talk about what he could have done. I don't want any talk about how Yes, they scored 24 points and the Lions scored 42. Don't want to hear any of it.
I'm not going to throw any shade at Bryce Young. He's a rookie. He's playing on look, man, like surprisingly one of the worst O-lines in the league.
My man threw an interception while he was apparently targeting, I don't know, one of his linemen's ass. Is what I didn't see any receiver in the area, but he was throwing it at the back of one of his linemen, and Aiden Hutchinson said, "I'll be having that then."
He just pushed the lineman out the way and said, "Oh."
he was being blocked by the other lineman, and he saw him throw the ball, and he just he slid in front, and he grabbed it with one hand. Yeah, I was like, I had to watch it 3 times to figure out what happened.
You know who we need to get on here? We need to get Aaron Duncan from Unnecessary Bluntness on here to have a Panthers discussion. I'm gonna reach out to him. Okay, Panthers fans, go check him out. Unnecessary Bluntness, Aaron Duncan, man. He breaks down Panthers like no other. Okay, we're gonna get him on the show. We'll do a video or something. Who do the Panthers play next?
They play the Dolphins.
Yep, Miami. Yeah.
And this is what I told you. As soon as I saw them, the way they looked against Atlanta, I was like, they might be 0-6. And here we are. Because I don't think they're going to beat Miami.
Miami looks dangerous, man.
If you gave up 42 to Detroit, maybe McDaniel didn't go for the record because he knew he had Carolina coming up. So he knew he had another shot at it.
Yeah. All right, look. One session says Lamar didn't play bad. I argue he did play bad.
I don't think he played bad. Look, if you look at it, he completed 22 or 38 with like 9 or 10 drops, right? A couple of drops were in the end zone on the same drive, so it would have been at least one touchdown. They would have had 14 points, and in theory, been tied late in the game with Pittsburgh, and then we see what happens from there. He had a couple bad plays. Nobody plays a perfect game.
Listen. I'm with you there. By normal standards, he did. I wouldn't put. I mean, I'm not putting them all on him, right? I'm not. But unfortunately, there's a high standard with Lamar, and in the crucial moments, right? Like he can't throw the interception right there. That killed us. I mean, even if we gotten 3 points there, that would have helped. You can't do it. That pass to Zay Flowers, we're going to discuss that. I put that on Lamar, right? I know DDSQ said that Zay didn't track the ball. It looked like he was running the route. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It looked like he was running the route he's supposed to run. He beat his man. The ball's behind him. He tried to adjust to the ball, right? It didn't look like a good throw, but that's 7 points right there. Okay. I ain't saying he's terrible or anything like that, but those are passes that Lamar's going to have to make. Lamar's going to have to play in spite of this bad play calling, in spite of this bad coaching by the head coach, unfortunately.
Yeah, he has to play better than most quarterbacks do for the Ravens to look good, for the Ravens to win. But that doesn't mean he played bad. Yeah. I think he was fine. I'm not saying he was great today. He was fine. Right. That
he should have been great. Everybody
was bad.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, I'm just wondering when the NFL is going to stop calling the goal line fade. It is the least successful pass in football, and people just throw it up because they're like, my guy can jump.
Okay. Daryl Anderson says they tried a high point and lost his footing. All right, look, I'm gonna take y'all word for it. It looked like when I watched it that the ball was behind him and he tried to like turn around and adjust to it. But look, I trust you guys in here. Okay, just you guys in the chat. Okay, nobody else. Okay, was that you again, B?
It was.
Come on, guys. Look, listen.
Lynch is getting taken away.
Taken away. We're snatching them back. Okay. You guys see this family here, delete them. Okay. Just Allo says I was 100% on Zay. All right. Okay. All right. Spooky J says the pass to Zay couldn't have been thrown to lead Zay because if it was, it would have been picked. He beat his guy.
He's saying Minka was closing in. I don't know. I didn't see that play.
Minka was not closing in. He had.
So I'm not sure.
No, that part I know is not true. He was not. He had Minka beat. How is he going to close in? That was a touchdown. But either, well, look, I don't know. I don't know. Coach, where's Coach at, man? Coach, that's the next film that I need him to break down right there. Yeah, he was open. There was no recovery for Minkah Fitzpatrick. He wasn't catching Zay. All right. Jeremy said those bots are the Steelers defense in the fourth quarter. Yes, Daryl. Can we talk a little about occasional hands Aguilar? He was the most consistent player this today. He had the one drop.
I'm not. This has always been my thing when we come on and we criticize the Ravens and why people think that we are always kind of coddling Lamar. It's like, I'm not going to blame the only people who are doing right, even if they're not perfect, right?
Right.
And that's why we never really go in on Lamar too bad, because without Lamar, this is a 17-point loss, right? And the same thing with Nelson Aguilar. Like, I'm not going to go in on the fourth receiver for not making every play when 1, 2, and 3 aren't doing their jobs.
Right. Like, exactly. I mean, what can you do? Like, I mean, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. Aguilar, okay, he had a drop. He caught everything else, but nobody stepped up. He was the only one trying to step up, and he's not supposed to be the guy that you're leaning on. So I mean, I can't put much on him. Kimberly says the Ravens players could never stay healthy at all. That's why they never win all the games. Listen, nobody wins all the games, right? And it's just 2 losses at the end of the day. But it's not the losses; it's how we're losing, right? And
it's also how they look in their wins, because they don't look great.
No, they don't. And the injuries, that's another thing. I mean, at this point, I'm putting this on the front office. We can't be the most snake bitten team year in and year out. That's not just bad luck. There's something going on there. They need to look at that.
Yeah, like it's either the training staff, and you're just you need to look at the way they're getting players prepared or not getting players prepared, and guys are getting hurt all the time, or you're cursed, in which case you need to sell the team or step down or whatever you need to do.
Get rid of the cursed people on the team, EDC John Harbaugh. Shook says, I mentally tripped Zay Jones. Zay Flowers. He used the force to triple. Oh man! Hey, Spooky Day. There'll be no LeBron slander here. Okay.
He said the bots are like 2014 LeBron.
Oh, was that the Golden State one?
I think it was the year before, but still.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Bateman hasn't produced yet, and the question is, will he ever do so? Listen, that's a good question, and I would love to find out that answer on another team. I mean, I don't. Listen. I might be ready.
Would like to fleece somebody for some assets off of that first round bust.
He's not a bust yet, man. But
I mean, we almost in the middle of year 3, and you don't know what he is.
That's the problem. I still look. I think you like Bateman. I like Bateman, right?
I like him a lot less now. I'll tell you that.
I like him a lot less after that drop.
Yeah,
I like him a lot less after that drop. At some point, I don't want to hear about opportunities, because we always do this. All right. In fact, I banned that word for a while because you guys kept on using it for crochet. Okay. You get what you get in terms of opportunities, and you have to make the most out of them.
Yeah.
Bateman, you have to catch that pass. There's literally no excuse for that. That was a terrible drop.
It was.
It was
right after a terrible drop from Mark Andrews.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, man. I mean, we have, unless we trade him, he's on the team for the rest of the year, and we just got to see what he can do. But after that, man, that's what it is. And I don't want to hear him being upset that, they didn't pick up his 5th-year option or anything like that, or not trying to extend him. You didn't do anything to deserve your contract.
Like, you want to talk about opportunities? Devin Achan, it's Devon Achan. He had 18 carries against Denver at the end of September. turned that into 203 yards and 2 touchdowns. Okay, but he came in as sort not the backup, but they were beating the hell out of Denver. The next week, he had 8 carries, turned that into 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. 8 opportunities. Right. Today against the Giants, he had 11 carries. You know what he did with that? 151 yards and a touchdown. The dude can just play, right?
He can just play.
If you can just play, you're going to make something out of those opportunities.
Zach Moss, even though Jonathan Taylor came back.
Every single one, but you will have seen something.
Yeah. Zach Moss, even though Jonathan Taylor came back, had a monster game. All right. Mm-hmm. Jay says HN is going to be groomed to be running back 1. Yeah.
I don't think he needs to be groomed. They ain't got a whole lot else going on at running back. They got Raheem Mostert.
Hendo said not top tier. Mark Andrews. Yeah. Again, another person we argue about. He's not on that level of Kelsey. Mm-hmm. Right. Nobody is. But I mean, this is the problem we have with them, man. Like, he makes some good catches sometimes. He makes some good solid plays, but like clutch plays. There's nobody in the team that's clutch, right?
No,
just Lamar, and it's got to be more than just a quarterback. It's got to be somebody he can throw the ball to.
Yeah, because once he lets go of the ball, that's it.
Yeah.
But DaCosta has to go. Harbaugh has to go. They need to clean house in Baltimore. We've been saying this for years, that they need to get rid of everybody there.
Yeah, I agree with MDC Sports. He's not George Kittle either. And again, I'm glad he's on the team. He's obviously one of the better tight ends. But
hey, you want to talk about opportunities? You know how many opportunities Tommy Tremble had today? He had 1 target. You know what he did with it?
Touchdown. That's right. And you're hating on him.
I hate Tommy Tremble. He sucks. He was a waste of a pick. But he got 1 shot in the end zone, and he caught it.
Keenan Ricketts says should have gotten Hopkins instead of OBJ. Yeah,
we got both.
Should have gotten both. Lamar asked for both. You should have gotten both. And Lamar was right. Who knew? All of us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's funny because he said he wanted OBJ and D-Hop, and we're making it seem like that was an unreasonable ask.
Right.
Like, oh, we got one, we couldn't get the other one. Yes, you could have.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you could have. You didn't want to give up a second round pick? Is that what the asking price was?
I don't even remember, but they cut him. So it doesn't even matter what their asking price was. They cut him and you still didn't call him.
Right.
You just didn't want him. It had nothing to do with, we can or we can't. You didn't want him. You could, because Baltimore, they always look at that side of the ball and they're like, well, enough's enough. Right? Enough's enough. Like we talked about on the roundup. Why are we even having a conversation about whether or not Patrick Queen should get paid when you already paid Roquan Smith? You won't have that conversation on offense. So why are you entertaining it on defense? It's nonsense.
No, I agree.
Why were you out there offering all that money to Darius Slay? You already got Marlon Humphrey. You won't have that conversation on offense.
Unless we were doing everything that we needed to do on offense, and we're just like, you know what? Let's go ahead and get this Patrick Queen thing done. You know what I'm saying? We did what we need to do on that side. We can keep those two together. They work well together. They work very well together.
Mm-hmm.
They work very well together. That's the only situation. But the O-line's in shambles. Okay. There's a growing debate on whether or not to keep Ronnie Stanley. We can't even have the debate unless you have some way to replace him. And we don't. But if you're looking to replace him, that's going to cost you a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
Right. Or a whole lot of picks, because the only way you can replace Ronnie Stanley, because Ronnie Stanley, he had that bad, that missed block at the end of the game, but he's still one of the better tackles in the league. Right. And to get that caliber of a tackle, you're either going to have to draft them high, get lucky, right? Yeah. Have one fall to you, or pay somebody. Trade. They're not even going to be available in free agency. You're probably going to have to trade for somebody and then pay them.
They're not going to be available to be a trade either. People don't get rid of.
They don't trade.
Particularly,
no, they don't. Right. So, but before we start there, You can go from right tackle all across that line except for center.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need a left guard, we need a right guard, we need a right tackle. I mean, John Simpson ain't it. No. That one, there's a sack. It got called back. It got called back because it was a holding on a defense, but they did like a stunt, and John Simpson got turned around. My man had his back turned to the defense and was facing Lamar. What are you doing?
I'm gonna say, I am lost. You good?
Did anybody else see that play? Please tell me somebody saw that play. Please tell me somebody saw that. He got spun around, and he's looking at his quarterback, and there's guys behind him that need to be blocked. No. Out of here. Get out of here. They all laughing. 76 people in here, man. Hit that like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. All right. We got some goals to reach around here. All right. Hit the subscribe button. We're going for 2,000 subscribers. Okay. 2,000 subscribers before Matt Canada gets fired. And, based off today's game, he might have a little bit more time. All right. Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. All right. Who every Steelers fan hates. Listen, every fan base has players, coaches, whatnot that they can't stand. Right. Everybody thinks that somebody on their team is doing bad. Okay. I understand. This is how we sound sometimes. Like, hey, we're overreacting. What do you mean? Wow, Jose. Are you a fan of Matt Canada? What do you mean? Wow. You want Matt Canada fired, right? Yes, you do. Okay. One of the worst offenses in the league. They rank what? They're ranked in the low 20s in every stat. Yeah, you don't want
wins.
Now wins. No, talking about offense. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want Matt Canada on your team. He said he is today. Anyway, 2,000 subscribers is the goal. All right. So tell your friends and your loved ones. Say, hey, friends, loved ones, are you my friend? Do you love me? You do? All right. Well, I need you to do me a favor. Go over to Lunch Break Hot Take, hit that subscribe button. Okay. If you're into audio podcasts, they're over there too. All right. Go ahead and follow us wherever you listen to your podcast. Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, all that good stuff. We are there. All right. Just make sure you give us a 5-star review when you listen to us. Davon says, because that fan base was booing Matt Canada all day. Yes, they were. Yes, they were.
Mm-hmm.
All day. They're still booing them. I know how Pittsburgh fans are. Even in a win, they're still mad.
Yeah, well, offense didn't play well. Okay, that you despite the massive 17 points you put on the board. Yeah, they should be booing.
All right, I know you skipped over the Panthers real quick, man.
I didn't skip over them real quick. I'm just like, there ain't nothing to say. Look, say we talk. Okay, I'll say this: the O-line played better today, I think, than they have this season. Not well, mind you, but better. I think that Bryce is getting a little more comfortable. The run game was a little bit better outside of Miles Sanders fumbling the ball. It was a little better. The defense completely fell off the cliff today. And that's something that we had talked about and I'd been expecting because they've been playing over their heads and they sustained a lot of injuries.
Do you agree with Jay here? Jay says it's a total team loss.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, it's not like the game was 42 points. Like, I don't know. Like, they were down 28-10 at halftime. So yeah, it was everybody. But they're having a similar problem in Carolina, where the coaching staff's not doing a great job, particularly with the offense. I at least there is talks about them being out there trying to make something happen for the offense in terms of getting a number one wide receiver. There was one play the other night in Chicago, looked pretty good, but I don't think he's on the table at this point. So they can look to Cincinnati, they can look to Vegas, they can look, several other places. But I don't know. I at this point, being 0-5, probably going into the bye 0-6, because I don't really expect them to beat Miami, the season is just about seeing Bryce Young's development and seeing how he looks each week, hoping that the O-line gets better, hoping that you see some improvement from Jonathan Mingo, because they got their ass kicked today.
And it's time to swallow your pride, Fitterer and Tepper,
and call Houston and just say, hey, let's CJ for Bryce. Let's do it.
You get him on Bryce already?
No.
Trade Brian Burns.
I can't even look. I know the whole the sunk cost thing and all that. Like, yeah, they passed up on the 2 first-round picks, so that doesn't mean it's the right decision to keep him now. But goddamn, I will be so angry if they trade Brian Burns now.
Listen, man, like he ain't gonna be here for the turnaround, right?
I mean, he might. He might. Look, I see Ravens fans saying this a lot. Trade him to Baltimore, and you know what? F y'all. But I wouldn't even be mad depending on what they get. Like if you get a first-round pick and say Bateman,
we can do that.
I would do that, and
we can do that.
All right, that's fine. Then they'll have their first-round pick, and then maybe they can still look at bringing in another receiver. Brian Burns, as good as he is. He's not like the best pass rusher in the league, obviously, but he's very good. He's only 25, but like he's not going to turn around your defense by himself. So if they can find a trade that makes sense,
look,
and I don't mean Scott Fitterer sense, I mean real sense, then they could go ahead and do it, I guess.
Look, I think the chat's liking it. Danny loves it, giving a thumbs up. Chris White says take Bateman today.
They ain't seen Rashad Bateman do anything. Like the reality is, I should have said Zay Flowers, but I know how the chat would react to that.
Too late. No take backs. No take backs. Yeah. So Conflict says trading Burns won't fix all the issues. No, it's not about fixing all the issues, right? It
doesn't fix any issues. It creates a much bigger one on defense.
Yeah, but we're talking about rebuilding. That's what they're doing, rebuilding, right? Burns is at a point in his career he needs to be on a team that's competing, that's ready to win, right? Are you going to sign him to a long-term deal?
Wow! Oh no! I'm sorry to interrupt. I saw something. We cannot let this pass. Jay, the infinite Terrace Marshall truther. You gotta say that Rashad Bateman is finished after a couple of seasons, 2.5 seasons in Baltimore.
Wow,
like Kelvin
Jay.
Benjamin, but we still holding out hope for Terrace Marshall. Did you even see him on the field today?
I can tell you this: he's worlds better than Terrace Marshall.
Jeez,
worlds better than Terrace Marshall.
Oh this offensive.
This is what look. Ravens fans ain't the only ones, right? You got fans that they're homers for their own players, and they wanna stick their nose up at other players. Like, no, not good enough. Okay, why would we want him when we have Terrace Marshall at home? see Ravens fans, Panthers fans do it too.
My goodness.
Yes, world's better. That's not that. I mean, come on, that's not even close. Fez says, you know who Panthers should get? DJ Moore. I heard he's still unhappy in Chicago. Listen, if you can work out a trade to send Brian Burns and get DJ Moore back, you should absolutely do it.
I'll be so I would be infuriated.
What's going on, Yolanda? Yes, very tough loss. Very tough loss. And if you haven't noticed, this is a Ravens and Panthers stream. We're going back and forth between both teams right now. We're trying to negotiate a trade between the Ravens and the Panthers here. All right. Brian Burns to the Ravens for a first-round pick and Rashad Bateman. Now, I know a lot of you guys in the chat are very reasonable, so you like that trade. But there are a lot of people out there that are unreasonable, and they will say, can't give up a first-round pick. Because B, imagine what we can get with the first-round pick. We can get another Oweh.
I know, right?
All right.
Absolutely.
Do that in a heartbeat. Okay. Jeremy says Panthers should go after Chase Claypool.
Chase Claypool already got traded. Keep up, Jeremy. Stop trying to troll or be better at it.
Conflict says if you trade Burns, get better protection for the QB with a much improved O-line. You could put any QB behind that. Yeah, look, speaking of, what's his name? Collins? Is that his name? Lyle Collins. He's out there. They say he's healthy. He's ready to go. Call him.
Yeah, I mean, look, Lyle Collins isn't good. He doesn't. I don't know that he would really have a spot on the line in Carolina necessarily. They're a young line, and they have guys coming back off of injuries. They have Zavala's a rookie, Equanu's in his second year. Like, they just need to play and get better.
Yeah,
I think long term they'll still be fine, but I don't think that going and signing Lyle Collins is something that would really improve the situation very much.
Yeah. Bazel, absolutely. He says, after this showing today, if y'all think I'm waking up at 9:30 to watch the Ravens, you tripping. Like big shoes on a midget. Yeah. Yeah. Spooky J says, hot take. Ozzy's style of drafting cursed this franchise in the long run. Not so high of a take. Well, I can't even put that on Ozzy. Ozzy's not the GM anymore. Okay. You're your own man, EDC. Okay. You're your own man. And you have to understand that times are changing and you have to get with the times and say, all right, I gotta start scouting other positions. What are you reading, B? You shaking your head
out. I was reading Jay talking about Marshall doesn't look like Bateman on the field. He's played 10 more games and has fewer yards and touchdowns. It is what it is. And he's on a team that doesn't have any good receivers right now and can't get any targets. He is a bum.
There's no comparison. I'm sorry. I mean, no. Yes, Yolanda, I know Lamar is frustrated. I mean, he showed it today. I'd be frustrated too. And again, I'm not sure if you guys saw it before the interception he threw. Okay. Hiked the ball. They had a spread, right? I think he had a look that he wanted. And John Harbaugh calls a timeout. And he slammed that football on the ground. Right. And I'm not even necessarily putting that on Harbaugh because Zay Flowers didn't know where he was running on that route, right? But again, why don't your players know where to go? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's an important drive you have to have. Why don't you know what you're trying to do out there?
Yeah, because he's a rookie, a fairly late first round rookie, and you've made him the entire passing offense.
Yeah. All right, quick scores from around the NFL, and we're gonna get out of here. Colts beat the Titans 23-16. Colts advanced to 3-2. Titans 2-3. Falcons, wow, they beat the Texans 21-19. They are 3-2.
No.
What?
Oh man, Josh Dobbs, that outstanding quarterback in Arizona who's better than actual starting quarterbacks, just threw a pick six to give the lead back to Cincinnati 17-14.
Oh, I was just about to get to them because it says 14-10 on mine. Bengals are struggling though, B.
They really are. They really, really are. That aside, like, I'm still pulling for that upset. I picked that one
because they still have a whole other half to go.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. Eagles are ahead of Rams 17-14. It's halftime over there. And then you got the Broncos. Oh, look at that. Does this sound familiar, Ravens fans? They're up on the Jets 10-5. So good luck with that.
10-8 now.
See? Chipping away. Chiefs are up 10-6 on the Vikings. Giants lose to the Dolphins 31-16. Saints beat the brakes off of the Patriots. Is this the worst beatdown now?
For today.
I think this is the worst beatdown they've ever had.
Oh, I don't know about ever.
Yeah, because I think the Cowboys gave them their worst loss, or at least Belichick's worst loss. But this might have surpassed.
I don't know. The Bills was what 31 or 34-0 too, wasn't it? That right after they got rid of Drew Bledsoe.
I think you're right. It could be.
But I can't remember.
But 34-0. Can we take a moment?
Got benched again.
Yeah, but I say, can we take a moment to talk about how bad Mac Jones is? Because if Cam was in there, all we'd be hearing about how bad Cam is, right? Cam's washed. He's cooked. He's all this. Can we talk about McCorkle real quick, and how awful he is? He is a terrible quarterback. He is not a starting caliber quarterback. He's clearly a backup. He should have never beaten Cam Newton for that job to begin with. But he didn't.
They gave it to him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's awful. He got benched the second time for Bailey Zappi, who's also not good. They're also going to be in the market for a quarterback, or Belichick is going to be out of here. I'm not sure what Belichick's problem is, but he needs to get a quarterback.
Why is it McCorkle Ferris? Because that's his name.
Yeah, we can't call him by his name now.
I think, to be fair, I think that's actually his middle name, but still, I mean, you go by Mac, so
yeah, you ain't cool, Mac. Yeah,
I mean, his parents did him no favors.
Big Red says Mac Jones is straight dumpster juice.
Like his name is Michael. Why wouldn't you go by that? Michael McCorkle Jones.
Mike Jones. See, that's the problem right there. That he thought he was too cool. He's too cool to take on the moniker, Mike Jones. Messed up.
Yes, right. Michael McCorkle Jones is his name.
You thought we were just making fun of him?
Why would we make up McCorkle? That's not a thing that my mind could possibly.
Who? Mike Jones.
No. If you've benched him 2 weeks in a row, can you even start him next week?
His mama named him McCorkle. I'm gonna call him McCorkle. That's what I'm talking about.
I'll tell you what, though, you still got better numbers than Daniel Jones.
Oh, so did Danny Dimes get hurt today, or did he get?
He did get hurt, I believe, but they were better for it.
You know, I was looking through some of our old videos. I was looking at the draft where we drafted Owe, right? We did that live stream, 4 hour stream. Never doing that again. But a lot of fun. And we had the OTR crew on here. Okay. We had OTR Mike, OTR Brandon, and OTR Quan.
Speaking of OTR Mike, where the hell are you? The draft is in like 2 hours and you still have yet to respond to the trade-off. Whatever.
Well, that's like 3 hours, right? It starts at 9.
Don't try to defend these shenanigans.
But the OTR crew was on that stream. And OTR Brandon is a huge Giants fan. And it was a spirited debate about Danny Dimes because he swears, he probably to this day, he swears Danny Dimes is the answer. But back then, he was just like, listen, Danny Dimes is making progress and we can win with him. And I mean, he was just going on and on and on and on.
That's what I was telling Hendo just a little while ago in their watch along. You don't debate Giants fans about Daniel Jones. There's mental illness over there with them. The man threw 15 touchdowns last year, and they gave him $40 million a year.
Also in that draft, I clipped that part. I put that in our Discord, where OTR Quan, who is a Washington Commanders fan, just received news from Brodny that they had drafted Jamin Davis, and he was like, "I don't know who that is," and he was not happy. I know Quan. He got quiet. He's trying to figure out who Jamin Davis is. He just listed off the players that that was still on the board. JOK was on the board. I think it was like an offensive lineman, and they went to Jamin Davis. And he was just like, I don't know, right? And then later on in the stream, he says, "Hey guys, I think we got the best linebacker."
There's nothing more powerful than a fan base's self-delusion.
Nothing
at all.
It was DB says Davis is a good pick. Okay, all right. Now Daniel Jones is more of a rushing QB than I thought. Yeah. Jamin Davis.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine, but like it wasn't nobody happy with that pick when it happened.
Yeah, with what was left on the board, that wasn't a good pick. I don't think so. Callie on Wheels, what's going on? He says, "We are so damn conservative today. It drove me crazy."
Today? And what you mean, calm it down, Ferris? You have argued with us that Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. You
did. What did Danny Dimes do today? Let's take a look at the box score. Giants box score. Daniel Jones, 14 of 20, 70%. Okay, 119 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions. Okay, his QBR is higher than Lamar's. He got 90.1 QBR.
No, that's the rating. They don't have the QBR yet.
Oh, okay.
His QBR will be significantly lower. don't worry about that.
And he had 24 yards rushing. Okay, this ain't on Daniel Jones.
He also has 64 turnovers in his 58 games.
I'm sorry, say that again.
He also has 64 turnovers in his 58 games. So that's pretty cool.
This season, 765 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Not good. He just got paid, y'all. All season, all of John Harbaugh's career. When have you ever seen John Harbaugh light it up?
No, Ferris. You didn't say he was okay. You said he was good. And then when presented with evidence repeatedly by multiple people, you said, okay, well, I think he's okay.
Well, he's not okay either.
Yeah, he's not okay either. 2
touchdowns and 6 interceptions is not okay. Look, guys, you got to know when to cut bait, right? You've had 5 full years of Daniel Jones, and you know he can't. He's not going to get much better, right? He's not it. It's okay to say he's not it. We need to get a quarterback, right? Don't hang on to that sinking ship. Did I get all the scores?
Oh no, only 4 full years. This is his 5th year.
Oh, okay. Could be extended them.
But
it ain't going well either.
But and the sad thing is his rookie year is by far his best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's not great.
So tonight we got the Cowboys and 49ers, and then tomorrow we got Packers at Raiders.
I gotta tell you, I like it when the Ravens lose because I don't feel as bad about Carolina losing.
It's a different kind of loss with us, right?
Yeah.
Like you guys are rebuilding, right? You're not expected to win that many games. Okay.
Anymore.
But not anymore. Not anymore. The Ravens, when they lose, it's just like, what just happened? What I just watched?
Yeah. the whole game. You're just like, what is happening on my screen right now?
Speaking of what just happened, I gotta bring this up, B. This is gonna be a sore spot for you. I know it's a sore spot for Coach. Miami. Listen, B is a Miami Hurricanes fan. Coach Evans is a Miami Hurricanes fan. I'm a Terrapins fan. We got beat.
Formerly a Miami Hurricanes fan. I don't care until Cristobal's gone.
But you know what though? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a fan or not, right? Because I'm not a fan, but like that made me feel sick. Like, what are you?
The dumbest thing. Like, I watched the replay because obviously I didn't watch when it was happening. But I watched the replay, and I'm not even certain the dude fumbled. It looked to me like maybe his elbow was down, but it doesn't even matter because if all of you, it's not even 100% on the coach.
Wait, like, set it up.
So, 99%. So they were playing Georgia Tech. They had the ball. I forget what yard line they were on. I think they were around midfield, or maybe a little bit past midfield. But there were 36 seconds left in the game. They were up 20-17. Now
Georgia Tech has no timeouts.
Yeah, they had just run a play. They were running down the clock. They got it under 40, which means you can just kneel. Game's over.
Yeah.
Miami said, not so fast. Now some people speculate that because the running back had 99 yards, they were trying to get him to 100. Just stupid. But they turn around. Well, actually, I shouldn't usually turn around and hand it out. It was a shot. Yeah, they were in shotgun, so you're doubling the risk there. But they line up a shotgun. They hand the ball off to their running back, and my man's running hard. He hits the hole hard, and 2 or 3 defenders grab him. He's fighting for extra yards. Again, stupid for what? There aren't any more plays, and they're twisting him around, and they pry the ball out, and Georgia Tech recovers. And then Georgia Tech, a few plays later, one of their receivers gets behind the safety because the safety ran up when he thought that the quarterback was scrambling, which, what are you going to do about that? The game's over. What's going on? But he runs up and then he's like, oh, wait, why am I doing that? Turns her back around. The receiver's already behind him. quarterback hits him for a 44-yard touchdown, which also, by the way, he started to slide before he was in the end zone, but whatever. 44-yard touchdown with 2 seconds left, and that was it. That was the game. 24-20.
So I haven't heard Crystal Ball's reason for doing that. I don't want to hear reason. There is no good reason. If it was to get that running back 100 yards, that's the stupidest of reasons. Why? These are college players. They don't get bonuses, right? There's no, oh man, he had to get 100 yards to activate this bonus. There's none of that for these players. You don't pay them, right? It doesn't mean anything for him. Okay. Oh, it'd just be nice to have. So you just threw the whole game away just for a nice to have moment.
Yeah.
That is a fireable offense.
Yeah, he should be gone already. This isn't the first time he's done it. He did it in Oregon too.
Yep.
It's just beyond stupid.
I don't see any more from him. He can go. I mean, he ruined their season.
I told you the second they hired him, that was done with them. That was a garbage hire. He was a bad coach. Why did you even interview him?
You guys are playing for the playoffs. Like you like that ruined the season.
Yeah. It is what it is. Can't have nice things. Ever since Miami stopped paying people, they can't have nice things.
And you can pay people now. So get back on it. Let's go. Resilience _ gaming 410 says, after today's loss, is it basketball season yet? Couple weeks. All right.
And y'all are you a Panthers fan, or because the Ravens are still 3-2 in first place in their division?
Well, it's gaming 410. I'm assuming he's from the area. Okay. Look, it's frustrating. I get it. Right. It's frustrating, and it makes you wonder, what are we going to do come playoff time? Because yes, I expect us to be in the playoffs. We do this every year. Whether we make it or not. It always comes down to towards the end. We'll feel good about making the playoffs. We might even win a division. We'll feel good about that. But what do we do in the playoffs? Right? That's what I'm worried about. Because yes, if we go in the first round, it's the playbook. It's the John Harbaugh playbook. We want to play as the underdogs, right? So if we're playing against a team that's favored, especially if we play the Dolphins, if we had to play the Dolphins in the first round, we beat them. We had to play the Bills in the first round, we beat them, right? I wouldn't even, that wouldn't shock me at all. We would just beat them, right? Because everybody will be flying around. Okay, it's everybody's doubting us, right? Nobody believed in us, right? It's that type of thing. But if we have to play the Chargers, if we have to play the Colts, right? If you had to play one of those teams where you're just like, oh yeah, we got that. We're going home.
Like the Titans.
Yeah. Like if we have to play one of those teams in the first round, we're going home. This is the problem I have with John Harbaugh teams, right? The teams that we look at and say we should put up 35 easily, 40 easily. We don't do it. We keep them around. Right. And Harbaugh doesn't have any sense of urgency. His coaching staff doesn't have any sense of urgency. Nobody's on the sideline saying, yo, you better get it together. All right. This is not, what's the halftime speech? We're up 10-5 at halftime. What's the speech? Because we came out in the second half and put up nothing.
The speech was, give you one more half like that and let's get out of here with a W.
Yeah.
That was the speech.
Yeah. Let's see. Super Brother, what's going on? Says, we have seen this before. This team ain't doing anything the way it's currently set with coach 10 years. We haven't learned. Yeah, I agree. Be the change you wish to see. Call for Devontae Adams for a top-notch wide receiver 1. Still don't have a bona fide wide receiver 1. I agree. Absolutely. OBJ, man, he's still not healthy, obviously, right? I want to believe that he can, contribute to this team, be productive for this team. But I'm not liking what I see so far. Just being real about it, right? We are 5 weeks in. Okay, it's time. It's time to turn it up. It's time for us to say, see, this is why we got him and didn't go after Hopkins. Okay. And if not, yeah, they better be making a trade. Okay. Bateman, not enough. It's not good enough. I don't care. I don't want anybody saying he didn't have a chance to get into a rhythm. It don't work that way. You get the ball thrown to you, especially for a touchdown, you better catch it. Okay. You better start making plays. Simple as that. Running backs, we don't have any. Okay. Not somebody that we can really get the ball to in big moments.
Yeah, not somebody that matters.
Not somebody that matters. Absolutely. So this is why you have to pick.
In 3 games now has 7 targets, 5 catches, 66 yards.
Not even close to good enough.
No.
So
it's been a complete waste.
EDC, it's time for you to wake up and get some talent on this team.
Travis Kelce went down on the plate with no contact and is now limping.
Uh-oh. That's not good. That's not good. Now you know what happens if this is serious? They're going to trade for Mike Evans.
Okay.
They'll make sure
they might do that anyway, because again, you know who else doesn't look so great without all of the talent at wide receiver is Pat Mahomes. Like, he's still playing well, but the numbers aren't there and the offense isn't nearly as good, and also without Eric Bieniemy as well. But it like, you look around the league, it's time for the Ravens and Ravens fans to look around the league and understand that you have to have talent. You have to. It's not optional.
Yeah.
Like, the teams who can move the ball and put up points have an overwhelming amount of talent on that side of the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. DDSQ says we are not trading Mike Evans. Well, you're not signing them either.
Right. Like,
you're gonna let him walk? DDSQ is a Bucs fan. Let me ask you, man. Like, you'd rather just let him walk and get nothing for him? You said we are 3-1. Why would we trade him? Because you're not bringing him back.
Because I know you don't buy into that 3-1 nonsense. You know that team ain't good. You know that team ain't good, bro.
No,
come on, man.
No, but seriously. He said that's it. He said that's it. I'm testing the market and I'm going somewhere else. Okay, you think you're gonna resign him? He says he's not leaving the Bucs. All right, all right, man. Listen, man, when you let a player hit free agency, unless you're going to franchise tag him, are you going to franchise tag him? I mean, that's the only way you can say for sure. If you're not, appreciate resilience, appreciate that. Anybody else that hasn't hit the subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button. All right. Don't leave it up to YouTube to remind you when we are going live. By the way, we do a live stream every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern time, the LBHT show. Okay. You get more of this, more Ravens talk, more Panthers talk, and stuff from around the NFL, NBA, and combat sports. So make sure you are subscribed. But if unless you're franchise tagging him, there's no guarantee that he's going to stay there. He hits free agency. Lots of teams are going to offer him a nice contract. So there's no guarantee that he comes back. And if you lose him, what do you get for him?
And why would you want him back? You're going into a rebuild. He's over 30. Get some assets for him. And let him go somewhere else and contend.
And if you don't tag him, it's not up to you. It's whether he wants to come back. And situations like this, when a player feels like he's disrespected, like, hey, I done all this for you and you don't want to make a deal with me, he's going to make it hard on you. It's going to be one of those things. He ain't going to give you he ain't going to give you first dibs. He ain't going to give you any hometown discount. He's going to say, all right, well, I'm going to go out there and see what everybody else is offering. And then, if I like this team enough, I'll see if they can match it or beat it.
Best drafted offensive player in your team's history?
Best drafted?
Maybe.
Over Sapp?
Offensive player.
Oh, offensive player. Oh, yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, no, they haven't had a lot of good offensive players there. So
yeah, I was gonna say Keyshawn Johnson, but he got drafted by the Jets.
Yeah.
Dang, that is damn. That's right, DDSQ. I think you're right. Work done. Did you guys draft Work done?
Nope.
Dang.
Drafted Mike Allstott though, I think.
Big Mike Allstott. Yeah. All right. Beat a Chain says, remember all the people who thought D-Hop was overkill?
Mm-hmm.
It's never overkill. You can never have too much talent.
Did you draft? I thought, maybe he left Tampa and went to Atlanta then. I thought it was the other way around.
Yeah. Super Brother says Ravens are dealing with the same situation with Ronnie. What situation? He's not a free agent. It's not the same situation.
I would take Warwick over Mike Evans, but that's just I'm a big fan of Warwick Dunn though.
Yeah. He's talking about trade. Listen, trade for what? Like the O-line is not good right now. He's still the best O-lineman we have. I mean, you could argue for Linderbaum at center, but definitely there's no tackle that's going to outperform Ronnie Stanley on this team. There's nobody that you can think of, that I can think of, that's going to that we can get that will outperform Ronnie Stanley. I just don't see it. I don't see how you can replace him right now. Get the replacement first. Don't do one of those things where, hey, we get rid of him and then we figure it out. We tried that already. We tried that with Orlando Brown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let him go. We'll figure it out. And we got so much worse after that. In fact, it caused that chain reaction to where Ronnie Stanley's hurt now, because you didn't let him rest. You had to rush him back because Villanueva was so bad. He's saying trade next year. Okay, but figure out who we're going to get first. I'm not saying don't do it. Look, I'm at a point now. I don't care who's out there. Just make sure they're protecting Lamar, right? Ronnie Stanley just got back. Is he 100% or not? I don't know, but let him get his feet under him. I'll judge him on the rest of the season. But I know Morgan Moses ain't it. I know John Simpson ain't it, right? I know
Pat McCarty and Falele ain't it.
They ain't it. So I mean,
Zeitler is about done.
Zeitler, who was pretty reliable, he's showing his age, and these are all on EDC. EDC is the one that brought all of these guys in, right? So there's no excuse. Like you're bringing guys in that just flat out can't play. Like I'm sick of going into this draft with 10, 11 picks, and you're getting guys that provide no value to the team.
Yeah, I mean, look, with EDC, man, like, yeah, he's made a few good picks. He's made a few good pickups, things like that. But like, if you look at what's the most important position groups in football, you start with quarterback, obviously. Then you're looking at the O-line. You're looking at edge rushers. You're looking at corners. They're worse at all those positions since he took over.
Yeah.
They're better at the positions that matter less. They're better at safety. They're better at middle linebacker. They're better, at I was going to say for sure a tight end, but I'll say arguably a tight end with Likely and Kolar along with Andrews. But the positions that matter the most, which are the positions that affect the quarterback play, they're worse at all of them.
Yeah. All right. We're going to get out of here. We're going to discuss more of this tomorrow on the Ravens Roundup. If you guys don't know what that is, you need to go over right here to Sip to Tally. Okay. Go over there, subscribe. Sip to Tally Films. That's Coach Evans' channel. Every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern time, we do a show called the Ravens Roundup with ourselves, with Hendo from the Rogue Pod. That's also another place you need to go subscribe for Ravens content. The Deep Cover podcast with Chris Just Joking, who'll be on the show. Also, Carrie and Mike. They're also a Ravens podcast. Our guy, OTR Mike, on Open Mic with OTR Mike. Not a Ravens podcast yet. It's got Ravens colors, right? And you got some Orioles colors in there. Okay, he's a fan of both teams. But this is a podcast about life, parenting, relationships, all that stuff. Okay. Great podcast. He is also part of the Ravens Roundup. All right. So tune in tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern time for the Ravens Roundup. And then come back here Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern time for the LBHT show. We'll discuss more about this, about the upcoming games, and also another fun topic on the Overtime show. You guys missed a fun one last week, okay? Living the Brock life, okay? So if you want to be a part of the Overtime show, All you need is $5. Okay. We have other tiers, 5, 10, 20, 60 tiers. But if you have as little as $5, go over to patreon.com/LBHTShow and sign up. Okay. That'll give you access to the overtime show. That'll give you access to our Discord. And once you're in, you're in. Okay. We don't kick anybody out unless you ask to be kicked out, essentially. All right. But yes, all kinds of good stuff. So check it out. Check out the tiers. See which one works for you. And sign up. All right. Let's see. Cordelia says Lamar was throwing dots all day. Wide receivers dropped 3 to 4 TDs, including tight ends. Lamar only had one bad throw. Other than that, we should have blew these guys out. And Lamar is tired of it. Look at his frustration. I agree. Demon Low, what's going on? He says
from Fiji.
From Fiji. You're in Fiji? Okay. He says, sheesh, terrible game management. Ain't that the truth? Had the Ravens ever traded for a superstar on offense? They tried to trade for T.O. one time. And
they traded for Anquan and they traded for Steve McNair.
Yes.
I know Ravens probably don't think about Anquan as a superstar.
He was.
He had 5,000-yard seasons before he came to Baltimore and a couple more after he left Baltimore. Baltimore's not a place where wide receivers can really put up numbers.
Yeah.
And then obviously Steve McNair was Steve McNair.
It's simple. Harbaugh just has to go. I mean, we've seen what his teams can do. We know what he's about. We know what his coaching tree is. He doesn't have a coaching tree, by the way. He doesn't have one. Right? He just, this is who he is, and it's not good enough. It's just not good enough. We're not going to win another Super Bowl with this guy here. I'm sorry. No. I don't feel that way right now. So he's got to go. And you're the more you linger around with Harbaugh, you're just wasting Lamar's prime years. All right. All right. Any last words on the Panthers before we get out of here?
No, I don't even want to talk about them until T. Higgins is in town. Honestly, man, you gotta do something. Like I think that they are starting to maybe gel a little bit, but it's nowhere near good enough.
The trade deadline is what week?
I believe it's week 8.
Week 8,
I believe.
All right, so about 3 more weeks, we'll see. Look, I know the Panthers are aggressive. They say they're aggressively looking.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Also, the deadline is October 31st at 4 p.m. I'll tell you what. They better not be putting it out there that they're aggressively looking and then they don't get something done. Don't let that happen.
That's not an option.
Don't let that be the case at 4:01 on October 31st.
Yeah. What day is that? Tuesday. That's Halloween. That's April's birthday. I was gonna say we're gonna live stream, but there will be no live stream that day. Okay. So the next day is LBHT show, so we'll talk about everything then. All right. That's it. You guys already know how I feel. We've been pretty consistent on our feelings about Harbaugh and EDC since this podcast has started. We're not fans.
I mean, that was essentially the basis for this podcast. It's fire John Harbaugh. So,
yeah. And EDC too. Like, I don't want EDC's name to not be in this discussion. He's to blame for a lot of this mess as well. You're the GM. I don't want to hear about Steve Bisciotti. I don't want to hear about, Steve won't let him do this. Listen, you're the GM, and you had a chance to go anywhere you wanted to go. And have control. You decided to stay here. You thought it would work. It ain't working.
Listen, the only time you can trot out the Bisciotti thing is with paying Lamar Jackson, because that was not his decision.
Right.
But the team building in Baltimore is a joke. So that's on Eric DeCosta.
Yeah. So I'm sick of it. I'm sick of both of them. Both of them need to get up out of here. All right. That's all I gotta say. We'll talk more about it on Wednesday. B, are you ready?
I'm ready.
He is ready. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. Frustrating loss. Congrats to the Steelers fans. Congrats to Suge Knight 323. Another another friend of ours. Make sure you go and subscribe to his channel. He actually does a show on the Steelers and Ravens. He says he's not. It's just the Steelers and Panthers. Yes, because B's on there as well. All right. The Steel Conspiracy on Tuesday nights at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Lots of dope content. Go subscribe to all these people.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Sugar's going to be on with Hendo over on the Rogue Pod tonight at 8 to do a little recap.
There you go.
So that should be fun.
There you go. All right. And Big Reg as well. Another content creator that talks Ravens along with Brandon Bozell. They do a lot of content together. Okay. So you're looking for some good, you're just looking for good Ravens content or just some content in general, because we talk about everything. Okay. This is our crew. All these people don't put them up on screen. This is our crew. All right. So support everybody. All right. But that's it. B, are you ready?
Yep.
B is ready. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. All right. Watch some other football games. Take these losses off of your minds. All right. Come back here and we're going to figure out a game plan for next week on Wednesday. All right. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you next time. Peace.